Yo! Welcome to another episode of Gaming with Mr. C. Guys, today for our Indie Tuesday episode where we shine the light on a lesser known title, we invited our pal from Graveyard Gaming over, Logan Phoenix, to break down a unique title for us. So buckle up!
Mr. C. Gaming with Mr. C.
And in today's episode of Graveyard Review, we're reviewing Man of Medan. That's right, Supermassives' first game that's supposed to kick off an anthology of games in their Dark Pictures collection, if you will. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I loved what they did with Until Dawn, and while this is not a sequel to Until Dawn, this is very much in line with what they did with that game. So, does this game actually raise the bar for what Until Dawn did? Does it set the stage for just an awesome anthology? Well, let's dive into this horror game set at sea and find out. First off, gamers, let's talk about the graphics. And when it comes to these graphics, I gotta say, they kind of range from average to really good. I mean, there's no really, top of the line graphics going on. None of them ever look bad. For me, personally, I will have to say that even the facial animations, I didn't think they were on the same level as Until Dawn. Now, Gaming with Mr. C on YouTube, Mr. C and I were having a conversation. He personally thinks that this game looks better than Until Dawn. Understand that I play on a base model PS4. He plays on an Xbox One X. So in 4K, so with all that stuff, maybe it does look better. I'm just kind of going with what I think there. Now, let me talk about the ship itself, though. In the ship, the environments all look creepy. They got this nice level of detail. There's so much rust everywhere, mold. Everything just looks damp. To the fact that you just sit there and play this game and you're like, man, it's kind of chilly in here. Like if you were walking through somewhere damp. I thought that was awesome. And I'm going to be honest with you. I got so grossed out with all the characters walking around with no shoes on. Like, come on, guys. That's just gross. But that's how good these detailed environments are. Like, you really feel like this is what a ship that's kind of floating out at sea for, 60 years is gonna be like. I will say that as you're walking through, everything's tight. It's all a bunch of tight corridors. And it does give you this claustrophobic feeling. I thought that was really cool as you're walking around this quote-unquote ghost ship. Now, going back to the facial animations, let's actually talk about the facial models, and I actually think they're really good in this game. I don't think they're outstanding, but they all look very similar to their real-life actors and actresses. Like, if you go on IMDb and you pull up this game and you look at the actors and actresses, you're going to sit there and go, wow, they look really good for, this digital version. Where it really stumbles, to me, is nothing really looks HD. And this is what me and Mr. C were kind of talking about. I personally didn't think anything stood out like, wow, man, that looks really good. Everything looked just slightly good, but not great. Not for a 2019 game, that is. With the story of this game, it's actually really good. I actually did enjoy what they did with the story here for the most part. It's going to start off, it's right at the end of World War II. You're a couple of sailors. You get on your ship after some shore leave. Shenanigans happen. The next thing you're walking around this ship, and everybody's lost their mind. On top of that, you are starting to see some really creepy things. And the more and more creeped out you get, right when you get to the point that you're like, oh man, what is happening? Boom, the game's going to shift. And now the next thing you know, you're in the present day. You're going to play as one of 5 characters. Basically, you have a couple, a man and a woman. She's got her brother, he's got his brother, and you got the ship captain. Well, you're going to go out to this unsanctioned dive. Basically, one of the little brothers points out, hey, I know where this plane's out in the underwater. The couple will actually go down, swim, and explore it, and they're going to find some notes talking about some Mandarin gold and some coordinates. Unfortunately, while this is going on, the people on the boat have an unfortunate incident with some pirates. Later on, the pirates are going to come back. They're going to want to find that Mandarin gold. That's going to lead you to this quote-unquote ghost ship from the very beginning of the game. Now, trust me, I left a lot of stuff out of that. That's just kind of gets you from the beginning to this ghost ship. And now when you're on this ghost ship, you are going to have so much happen on this ship. I mean, you're going to have a bunch of jump scares. There's actually going to be a very tense atmosphere. They nailed the atmosphere if they didn't nail anything else. And a mystery to try and figure out what's going on. And you're doing that while trying to keep all 5 of those characters alive. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the characters, though, I gotta say, I didn't dislike any of the characters. Some of them, to me, were a little on the corny side. But I also didn't love any of the characters either. I didn't have any that I absolutely rooted for. Like, yeah, I want this guy or this girl to make it to the end. I will say I did like two of the characters above the rest of them. And I was like, all right, man, I kind of dig these characters. I like kind of their attitudes, But those happen to be the characters that I got killed. I lost two characters in my playthrough, and it was the two that I actually liked. Guys, that is actually going to bring us to gameplay. But before we get into how, a choice can lead your character to a certain doom, let's actually talk about the basic gameplay gist of the game. In this game, you're going to be doing a lot of walking around, as crazy as that sounds, but you're also going to be doing that in some set camera angles. You're also going to be picking up things, investigating them, reading notes, and then there's going to be some quick time events as well. Here's the thing I will point out is the walking is a little bit stiff. And when you combine that with set camera angles, it can at times almost feel like tank controls when you move from one perspective to another, going from room to room. At the same time, let me also say that the camera angles can be set in a way that you can't really see the whole room, and sometimes you're thinking you're kind of walking through, but you're getting caught up in something you can't really see. The perspective's a little bit off at times, but it does add to the creepiness of the game and not knowing what's around every corner. Now, there's also quick time events, like I said, and honestly, they are well done in this game because they are very fast moving. A lot of them are actually really quick. You don't have a lot of time to kind of get your bearing on, oh, that's a circle, or oh, that's a triangle. I actually like it. It kept you on your toes. I will say that I never had a moment where when I failed a quick time event, it was instant death. But I do think, given the situations I was in, if you failed 2 in a row, maybe 3, I think it wouldn't work out well for your character. But the big gameplay aspect is choices. That is a huge part of this game. And just like Until Dawn, this game is going to record all of your choices. And those, whether they're big or small, whether it's interacting with a character or making a choice to hide or run, they're going to have huge impacts on your character, whether it be immediately or later on in the game. What I really love about these choices is even the ones you think are the best options could be the wrong choice. The ones that you think you may have screwed up could in fact be the best bet. And I did that several times thinking, crap, I shouldn't have done that, but it worked out well for me because, hey, maybe you screw up on this part, but because you do right on this part, it all entwines to give you the best choice. And that's really cool about how this, almost this spider web with this butterfly effect works. They all connect in so many cool ways. Every character in this game can live or they can die. And I really, really dig that because I was so caught up in trying to save everyone. I love how you can make the right choice only to be wrong. I mean, like I said before, that happened to me so many times. Like, all right, I'm going to go this way. Well, you think you're saving them, but you're not. I had 2 characters die through my playthrough, and trust me, it was so hard when I realized I screwed up. I was very tempted, and I still am, to load this game up again and just kind of replay the last few chapters in this game just to kind of save those 2 characters. There is a replay in this game, I want to point that out, once you've completed the game, but be aware, if you select a chapter, it writes over everything past that point that you had done originally. For example, if you go into chapter 6, chapter 7, 8, 9, that's all clear. You can't go back to that anymore. You have to start from wherever you selected and play your way through the rest of the game. Gamers, that's actually going to bring me to trophies. Now, honestly, trophies do not count toward my overall review score, but I wanted you to be aware when you're going into this game what to expect. Honestly, for me, it's kind of a mixed bag. I do like the fact that a lot of your choices that I talked about will play into what kind of trophies you get. I mean, your outcomes, who lives, who dies, all that stuff factors in. And let me just say, I 100% believe you should go into this game blind with regards to the trophies. Just play the game, see what you get, and then look up to doing a second playthrough. However, the reason it's a mixed bag for me is that second playthrough might be leading to a third playthrough or a fourth playthrough. There's a lot of different variances that you have to do here. I mean, they really want you to play this game over and over again. And the thing is, well, I don't mind replaying a game and saying, okay, well, in these situations, I'm going to try something different. To try to get a lot of these trophies, I feel like it would have to be a little bit too much manipulation and not you just kind of genuinely making different choices, but clearly saying, okay, I have to do this, that, and whatever. So they're fun, they're cool, some of them are rewarding, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like they could have been a little bit more player guided as opposed to developer guided, if that makes sense. But gamers, when it comes to fun factor, I gotta say it's pretty high in this game. I really enjoy this kind of game. These choices, consequences, the real weight to them, the quickness. Like, you gotta make this choice quickly. I like that. I like the fact that any character can live and die based on your choices. It just adds that weight to it. I had a lot of fun with this game. Does it stumble from here and there? Yeah, sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you pick this game up, and this game is always on sale, and at the top of that, man, it's only a $30 game to begin with, so you're not looking at a huge investment. It's about a 5-hour game, but honestly, just through replays, and I mean fun, natural replays, not just, going for trophies, you can probably double that time and get a lot out of this game. So for me, the fun factor is actually really high. Gamers, that's going to bring us to our final review score. And for this game, I'm going to give it an 8.25. I really, really enjoyed what Supermassive Games did with this first game in the Dark Pictures Anthology. I can't wait to see what they do with the next game, Little Hope. Honestly, Man of Medan was a solid little game. It's about 5 hours, like I said, but I think for the entire time you're tense. You're wondering what's going to happen. How is this going to play out? And man, I love that.
Mr. C, gaming with Mr. C.